Hello everyone, my name is Ravi. Welcome to the channel where we can discuss about Azure most important interview question and we try to give you the answers how to get you answered on Azure interview questions. So while working in Azure, you might have gone through the statement called what is ADLS, what is Blob and what is ADLS Gen 2. So if you are preparing for the interview, you should get definitely get the question on that sector. Why people ask what is difference between ADLS versus Blob, or what is the difference between ADLS 1 and what is ADLS 2, or what is the difference between Blob versus ADLS Gen 2. So people interviewer want to understand how you convey that means in your project how you convey that to use Blob or ADLS or ADLS 2. So it's depend on how you understand about blob storage. Okay, so if you're confused about whether you can use Azure data lake storage or blob or gen 2, so you need to understand what's your data storage type. Okay, so let's continue with the channel. Please hit the bell icon and please bear with me till the end of the video. You can get more understanding where you use blob, ADLS and gen 2. Okay, let's continue the video. So before proceeding, you should understand why ADLS and why Blob, two different kind of storage device created by Azure, right? So you should have understanding on that first. So the ADLS and Blob are services which provide cloud-based file system. Means in the cloud, how you store the data. Azure provided two system initial days, ADLS and Blob. Okay, both are you can store structured data, unstructured data, or semi-structured data. You can store whatever you wanted. You can use both of services. Okay, so ADLS stand for Azure Data Lake Storage, and Blob stand for Binary Large Object. So don't get confused on the naming convention. You can store Azure only, you can store blob data, binary data, 0, 1. No, it's not like that. You can store anything over there. You can store big, large video, you can store flat file, you can store Excel file, image file, live streaming files. You can store anything over there in both of the objects. Okay. So third point, both the service can create under storage account, right? Once you have Azure subscription, you can search for the storage on the top on the Azure portal, and you can search for ADLS, you can search for Blob. You can create both on services. You can adopt both services. Okay, let's come to next slide and let's understand the features provided by ADLS and the Blob. So ADLS designed as Hadoop file system which is compatible with HDFS. If you understand the concept of big data analytics, where you have large movie files, where you have 10 gigabyte data, okay, or you have 10 TB, 10 terabyte data. So this kind of the concept is come from Hadoop, where you can store all the setup data in different HDFS file system. Okay, so this is a concept of HDFS. So that's why Azure ADLS designed on that concept to store all the big data files. Okay, and second, you can control your object on file label. Means suppose you open the windows, right? You open file explorer, you can create multiple folder inside the folder and folder, right? So you can go to that hierarchy, you can control go inside the folder and you go deeper. So if you have this kind of schema, so you can use file label objects where it allow you to control create a folder inside the folders. There is no limitation, and you can control where you have to grant which label access to anyone. Okay, so for example, I have created three folder called sport, India sport, India Ranji sport, IPL. So there are multiple hierarchy, but it's a part of India Cricket Association, right? So you can control the privilege for me to watch only Ranji only or IPL only. So these can control you can do on ADLS. Okay, I'm just giving an example. You can take any of them. So let's be discuss about Blob. What is Blob? Blob is also a file system where you can store the file. The first criteria is we have multiple tiers on that on Azure. So you have premium, you have hot, you have cold, and you have archive. Okay, archive means if you want a frequent update on the file, means daily you want to update, or you want low latency on that, you can subscribe as a premium account. This is be chargeable, higher chargeable, but this is as per your requirement. If you want daily update, you can use premium. If you have you can manage little latency in daily wise, means suppose you can manage to hold half an hour 2 hours, so you can use a hot subscription. Okay, third one is a cold, means you loading in month wise one. Okay, so you don't worry about latency, so you can take a cold subscription on tier wise. And archive, you understand, after 5 years you can set the archive of your file system, so you can use archive. Okay, storage. Second is the most important in blob is design a high availability and disaster recovery. If you use a blob, so there is a major advantage of high availability, means this file always available for you. Okay, and it also, because your data is high, you want availability, then you also need a disaster recovery, means once your system is down, then how you get those file on those time period. So you have a disaster well planned on block. Third one is cost effective storage for unstructured data. So you suppose you have unstructured data, means CSV file is very heavy, there unstructured data. So this is give you the cheaper option compared than ADLS. So that's why Blob is very useful in these days. Okay, if you have normal set of data, you can go with Blob. Okay, let's come to slide about the differences. What is the difference between that? So in ADLS, why ADLS 2 come into picture? So you heard about ADLS 1 have capability to store folder structure. You can manage the folder by folder. You can give the control. So in Blob 2, you in Blob what you have capabilities of disaster recovery, high availability, and cost effective, right? So Azure want to combine both. So for all the users, what you wanted, you can take it. Might be you want Blob, you want ADLS, or you want combine of them. So ADLS Gen 2 come into picture there. So let that, because you understand ADLS and Blob, so I'm not going deeper on that. So I'm just giving the difference between ADLS Gen and Gen 2 and Blob. So ADLS Gen 2 give you design a big data analytics. You understand? It taken from the ADLS first. So it's for big data analytics. And Blob is designed for general purpose. You have flat file. you going to you want to use uh, monthly load data. You want to daily use data. You have a CSV file or flat file or any simple files. Okay, I'm giving example. So this is not big data. You can just have a simple data. The format is fixed. And Gen 2 you have a hierarchical based file system. Okay, as I mentioned, right, it's taking from Gen 1. Then this also carry forward a hierarchical file system where we can create a folders. But in Blob, it's still no hierarchical based system. You just store a flat file, means you create one folder and store the files. Simple. And then you can create another folder outside the container. You can load the file. Just like I load the raw file, create raw folder. So I load the raw folder, raw file over there, raw file over there. Second would be I created curated, means I do the enrichment and do the manipulation on the file. Second would be curated folder. So there's a difference. Third one will be file system security. So as I mentioned, ADLS 1 have same, ADLS 2 also given the same slot. You have file folder structure, you can control your file level security. Means what are the file access people wanted or your resources wanted, you can grant till that file level access. So suppose I'm a Australian cricketer, so I can restrict access to Australian cricket board, not given to India, UK or US. Okay. Third one, in blob wise, resource level access. So if you have granted access to particular resource level, means the blob level people can access everything. Okay, that's a requirement for that. And fourth one is a cost is blob, because you're dealing with big data, there are multiple CPU inbuilt on that, so its cost is little more than blob. And blob, why less because we just have a simple structure, we have a useful general structure, low level structure. Okay, so this is a major difference. You can give the interview. This is a general, people ask the question. So as of now, what we discuss, why it is coming to picture, what is a blob, why both are differences, and now we discuss about Gen 2, why it's coming to picture. So let me take up features why we use it. What is the use case of Gen 2 and Blob? So Gen 2 used for big data framework like Hive, Spark, and you can create a lake house, the combination of data lake and a warehouse. You can just create a lake house design, and you can do this for live streaming like a sensors, your smart house concept, your satellite data. So if you want real-time analysis, you can use a ADLS services. And Blob is using for storing the main file or staging file, flat file or log file. So if you have a sample general file users, you can use a blob. So today is for done. So you might get all the idea why we use Gen 2, Gen 1 blob. So based on your project, based on your interview, you can go through with the slide. If you not need a slide of this, please comment it out. I'll try to give the file. Okay. Thank you for watching. Please share this video as much as can, so I can get more interview candidate reach those videos and see that and clear the interview. Best wishes for my side. Thank you for watching.